M Zain Ul Abideen. Nothing stays important. First published by M Zain Ul Abideen 2026. 1. Before it became irrelevant. There was a time when it mattered. You cared. Deeply. Maybe too much. You believed this moment would stay. This feeling. This importance. People were watching you then. Or at least you thought they were. Your marks mattered. Your work mattered. Your effort mattered. Your existence felt noticed. You woke up with purpose not because you understood life, but because something outside you gave you value. A result. A position. A role. A dream. You were busy chasing, fixing, proving. Busy enough to not ask the dangerous questions. Why does this matter? Who will care later? What happens after this? You didn't ask. Because at that time, asking felt unnecessary. Everything felt permanent when it was happening. The stress. The pressure. The excitement. You thought. Once I reach there, life will settle. It never does. This chapter isn't about failure. It's about the moment before you realize. Before applause turns into memory. Before importance turns into history. Before your biggest achievement becomes a sentence people barely finish listening to. Back then, you didn't know. You were just human. Holding on to something. That time was already preparing to take away. And that's the cruel part. Not that things end. But that we believe they won't. This was the phase where life lied to you gently. With hope. With reward. With attention. Later, it will stop lying. But for now. This is the moment. Before it becomes irrelevant. 2. The child who was praised. They clapped for you. Not because they understood you. But because you did what they wanted. Good marks. Good behavior. Good future. You learned early that love comes with conditions. A child doesn't chase success. A child chases approval. So you studied. You memorized. You performed. And it worked. People smiled at you differently. Teachers said your name louder. Relatives compared you to other children. You became an example. Look at him. Be like her. At that age, praise feels like truth. You don't question it. You think. If I keep doing this, I'll always matter. Nobody tells the child that this attention has an expiry date. Nobody tells them that one day, their marks will be meaningless numbers. In a conversation nobody wants to have. School ends. Classes change. Life moves forward without asking what you scored. The child grows up. Still chasing the same feeling. To be seen. To be valued. To be important. But the world doesn't clap forever. And one day, without warning, nobody asks anymore. Not about your grades. Not about your effort. Not about how hard you tried. The praise dies quietly. Not with a failure. But with silence. And that child learns a brutal truth too late. They were never special. They were just early. 3. The best student in the room. You were the best. Top of the class. Everyone knew your name. Everyone looked up to you. You felt important. Untouchable. Like life owed you something. And maybe it did in that moment. Books, tests, projects, you crushed them all. You earned respect, smiles, and a few jealous glances. You thought this was permanent. That being the best meant life would notice you forever. But life doesn't notice. It doesn't care. It just keeps moving. The next student rises. The next exam comes. The next award goes to someone else. You still have the same skills. The same intelligence. The same effort. And yet, Nothing feels the same. No one applauds you anymore. No one reminds you that you were the best. Your greatness has an invisible expiration date. The worst part? You carried that same expectation into adulthood, believing that if you just keep being the best, life would recognize you. That people would always care. They don't. Not really. Being the best only matters until someone else is. Then it's a memory. A story told politely. A footnote. And you're left holding the same ambitions. But now no one is clapping. Now, no one notices. You realize. Achievement is temporary. Admiration is temporary. Even being the best is temporary. And that feeling, the one that made you think you mattered, fades into quiet, brutal truth. Nothing stays important. 4. Expectations we didn't choose. From the moment we open our eyes, life hands us expectations. Some are spoken, some are silent. Some come with a smile. Some come with a sigh. Be successful. Do well in school. Make us proud. Don't fail. We didn't ask for them. We didn't sign up for these invisible contracts. And yet we chase them as if our lives depend on it. You do it quietly, day after day. Chasing approval, chasing the idea of being enough. Every small victory is measured by someone else's scale. Every failure is magnified. Every step forward comes with someone saying, you should do more. And the cruel part? Even if you obey. Even if you excel. Even if you break yourself trying. It never ends. Expectations move with you. They shift. They grow. They demand more than yesterday, more than your limits, more than your humanity. You learn too late that the only person who might care about your dreams is yourself. And by the time you realize it, the weight of all the expectations you didn't choose has already worn you down. You've spent your life trying to matter. To people who will forget you. To standards you didn't set. And to values that were never yours. And that's the truth. No matter how much you achieve. No matter how much you obey. Most of it will not matter. It's not even life's fault. It's just how it is. We are born, we are expected, we perform. And in the end, nothing stays important. 5. The first win. Everyone remembers their first win. Or at least they think they do. The first time someone said, you did well. I'm proud of you. You're special. It felt like the world had opened a door just for you. Like life had finally noticed your existence. Like you mattered. You held that moment in your hands. Treasured it. And promised yourself, I'll feel this forever. The first win is intoxicating. It whispers lies. Keep going, keep achieving. And the world will always care. You chase the next win with more hunger. You want the feeling again. You want it to last. And slowly, reality sneaks in. People stop clapping. The praise fades. The moment becomes a memory. You begin to notice. The first win wasn't yours. It belonged to the people who applauded you. It belonged to expectations. It was borrowed importance. And one day, without warning, you achieve again. And the feeling is weaker. Less bright. Less alive. You start to see the pattern. Life gives the thrill. Then takes it back quietly. No one warns you. No one explains. The first win isn't the start of a ladder. It's a reminder of impermanence. Of attention that always leaves. Of the truth that nothing stays important. You might scream at it. You might cry at it. You might sit in silence. It doesn't care. It will leave anyway. And that's the lesson no one talks about. Even victories die. Even joy fades. Even you, fade. 6. The hustle phase. You think life will give you meaning. You think effort equals importance. You think money, success, work, that it all builds something lasting. You're wrong. The hustle begins quietly. A job. A career. A goal. You wake up early, push yourself, sacrifice sleep, health, sanity. You tell yourself, one more project. One more deal. One more step. Then I'll be noticed. The world applauds the start. It whispers, keep going, you're doing great. So you keep going. You trade time for results. You trade friends for deadlines. You trade peace for the illusion of importance. And the thing about the hustle? It never stops. Every achievement is a moving target. Every milestone is a beginning, never an end. The people who celebrated yesterday have already forgotten. The applause is gone. Your importance is borrowed, temporary, fragile. You feel exhausted. You feel numb. You feel like screaming. Why does nothing stick? Why doesn't anything matter? But no one hears you. Not really. The hustle phase is cruel. It teaches you one truth. The harder you chase, the faster life moves away. You realize, slowly. Hustle doesn't make you important. It just makes you busy. Busy until everything you care about becomes irrelevant. And yet, you keep going. Because you have no other map. Because the world conditioned you to believe that motion equals meaning. But it doesn't. Not in the end. The hustle only leaves behind tired bones. Empty victories. And the quiet understanding. Nothing stays important. 7. The businessman who had everything. He had it all. Money. Power. Respect. Cars. Houses. Women. Recognition. Everyone envied him. Everyone wanted a piece of his life. He smiled. He nodded. He basked in the glow of being someone. But inside, he was empty. All the wealth in the world cannot fill a hollow chest. All the respect in the world cannot stop the clock from ticking. All the admiration cannot quiet the loneliness that comes with knowing. None of this matters forever. Deals are signed. Contracts are signed. Parties are attended. Photos are taken. Stories are told. And the next morning? Silence. Empty rooms. The quiet hum of machines. The echo of meaningless success. He looked around and realized the truth too late. Money only changes attention. It doesn't change reality. It doesn't change time. It doesn't make the applause permanent. Friends leave. Lovers leave. The world moves on. And he's left with a bitter taste. A realization that stings more than failure ever could. He built everything, for nothing. Nothing stays important. Not money. Not power. Not fame. Only moments. Only fleeting awareness. And eventually, even those moments vanish. He clenched his fists. He cursed the universe. He laughed at the absurdity. And then, he did what everyone does. He kept living. Because there is no other choice. 8. Respect that came with status. People treated him differently. Not because he was kind. Not because he was wise. But because he looked important. He walked into rooms, and heads turned. Voices softened. Doors opened. People smiled, some genuinely, some because it suited them. For a while, it felt real. It felt like he mattered. But respect earned this way is fragile. It's borrowed. It only lasts as long as the status remains. Lose the suit. Lose the title. Lose the money. And suddenly, the respect vanishes. The smiles fade. The doors stay closed. No one warns you about this. No one explains that status is temporary. Like a shadow that stretches when the sun is up and disappears when the night comes. He realized too late that the respect wasn't for him at all. It was for what he represented. Success, wealth, power. And not the human sitting behind the mask. And that human was always alone. Always watching, always waiting, always wondering. Do I matter for me, or only for this illusion? Respect that comes with status isn't respect. It's attention on loan. And attention, like everything else, expires. Nothing stays important. Not applause. Not admiration. Not even what you worked your whole life to earn. And when the status fades, the silence is deafening. 9. Applause is temporary. Clap. 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 It feels good, doesn't it? The world notices you. For a moment, you exist. For a moment, you matter. But the applause is never yours to keep. It belongs to the moment. It belongs to the people who give it. It disappears quietly, without warning, without reason. The harder you try, the louder the silence that follows. The more you crave recognition, the faster it fades. The first cheer feels eternal. The second feels smaller. The third barely scratches the surface. And one day, you notice something. No one claps anymore. Your achievements. Your efforts. Your sacrifices. Gone. Forgotten. Irrelevant. You ask yourself, did I do all of this for nothing? And the answer is yes. Not because it wasn't worth it. Not because you failed. But because nothing lasts forever. Applause dies. Praise dies. Attention dies. You are left with yourself. And yourself doesn't clap. So you keep going. Hoping. Chasing. Pleasing. Until the next moment. Until the next cheer. Until you realize the brutal truth. The only permanent thing in life is silence. Nothing stays important. 10. The cost of wanting more. You wanted more. More money. More respect. More recognition. More life. It started quietly. A whisper in your chest. Not enough. You deserve more. At first, it was motivation. A push forward. A spark. It felt like ambition. But then, it became a hunger. A gnawing emptiness. A shadow that grew with every achievement. You achieved. You reached new heights. You earned applause. You earned praise. And still, it wasn't enough. The cost? Time. Sleep. Peace. Relationships. Your own health. Every more took a piece of you. Every victory came with exhaustion. Every step forward demanded a sacrifice. And the cruelest part? Even when you got it all, it didn't last. The hunger returned. The shadow returned. The applause faded. Wanting more is like drinking from an endless ocean. You'll never be full. You'll never be satisfied. And one day, you see it clearly. The price of chasing everything is realizing that nothing stays important. Even what you think will matter forever will fade. Even the peaks of your life will be forgotten. And all that remains is the emptiness you ignored while chasing the illusion of permanence. 11. The healthy body. You wake up. You move. You breathe. You take it for granted. The body feels strong, alive, invincible. It carries you through work, life, challenges, love. You think it will last forever. But it doesn't. A knee aches. A back hurts. A sickness arrives. Suddenly, the strength you relied on becomes fragile. You realize how little control you really have. Health is temporary. Vitality is borrowed. Every heartbeat is a countdown. You spend your life ignoring the warning signs. Eating wrong, sleeping little, chasing everything else. You act like the body is eternal. Like it owes you more time. And one day, quietly, it doesn't. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. But slowly, imperceptibly, it begins to fail. The brutal truth. No matter how strong, how careful, how disciplined you are, time always wins. Your body is just a vessel. Temporary. Fragile. And even the best health cannot stop what's coming. You can curse it. You can fight it. You can ignore it. But nothing lasts. Not youth. Not strength. Not the illusion that you are invincible. Even your body, the thing you live inside every day, will betray you. And only then do you realize. Nothing stays important. 12. When the body stops listening. It starts with a small twinge. A cough. A cramp. A day when climbing stairs hurts more than it should. You ignore it. You push through. You tell yourself. It's nothing. I'm fine. I'm strong. But the body doesn't lie. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about deadlines, meetings, or expectations. One day, it refuses. It refuses to run. It refuses to lift. It refuses to keep up. And in that refusal, you feel powerless. Your mind screams. Your heart panics. But the body is silent. Pain becomes a teacher no one wants. It whispers. You are not in control. You never were. You realize too late that your health was a privilege. Not a guarantee. All the plans you made, all the achievements you chased, all the importance you thought you had, means nothing when the vessel fails. Some fight it. Some surrender. Some rage at the unfairness. The truth remains. Life doesn't stop because your body does. It keeps moving. The world keeps expecting. The clock keeps ticking. And you must learn the bitter, numbing reality. Even your body's strength, even your health, is temporary. Nothing stays important. 13. The disabled person everyone avoided. They were there, always. The one nobody noticed. The one nobody remembered to include. People pitied them. People whispered about them. People avoided looking directly, as if their presence was inconvenient. But they existed. Quietly. Patiently. Aware of everything. They watched the world chase praise, money, health, and power. They watched people celebrate victories that faded in weeks. They watched ambition grow, then crumble, then vanish. And here's the truth. They knew something early. Something the rest of us forgot. Life doesn't care who you are. Nothing lasts. Nothing is permanent. While everyone else screamed for importance, they learned to survive without it. Without applause. Without recognition. They understood the brutal simplicity. Your achievements, your wealth, your health. These are all borrowed importance. And in a strange way, that made them freer. No expectation could crush them. No loss could surprise them. No moment mattered more than another. While the world is busy building castles on sand, they sit quietly, unshaken. And maybe, just maybe, they are the only ones who truly see. Nothing stays important. 14. Beauty has an expiry date. You look in the mirror. You admire yourself. You take pride in your reflection. You feel admired, envied, desired. It feels permanent. It feels like a power you earned. It feels like a shield. But beauty is a liar. It whispers promises it cannot keep. It fades with time. It bends under gravity. It surrenders to age, illness, stress, and life itself. People treat you differently when you are beautiful. They listen. They smile. They notice. And when the beauty fades, they stop. They forget. They move on. Even the admiration you once believed would last forever vanishes quietly. Beauty is temporary. Like all other things we chase. Like applause, like wealth, like strength. The cruelest part? While you chase it, defend it, polish it, preserve it, life is still moving. Nothing waits for you to look perfect. Nothing waits for you to feel admired. And one day, the reflection staring back at you is someone you barely recognize. Not because you changed, but because everything fades. Your beauty, like everything else, is borrowed time. And the lesson life whispers quietly, painfully. Nothing stays important. 15. Time wins every argument. You argue with life. You fight. You resist. You plan. You calculate. You chase. You think you can hold on. You think you can control it. You think you can make moments last. You're wrong. Time doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about your plans, your dreams, your anger. It moves forward, quietly, relentlessly. It erodes health, wealth, beauty, power, and memory. Every argument you have with it is meaningless. Every fight, every plea, every strategy is temporary. Even love, even pain, even joy. Everything bends to time. The most you can do is notice. The most you can do is watch. And still, it slips through your fingers. The people you love will leave. Your victories will be forgotten. Your pain will dull. Your fame will fade. And you'll realize, angrily or quietly, that time always wins. No wealth can bribe it. No effort can halt it. No ambition can delay it. Everything you cling to, everything you fight for, everything you think is important, will eventually bow to time. And in that surrender, you feel the weight of truth. Nothing stays important. 16. The day it felt empty. It happened quietly. A morning. A moment. A day like any other. But something inside you shifted. The weight of everything you chased suddenly felt hollow. The applause. The achievements. The recognition. The money. The health. The beauty. All of it empty. You sat there, maybe in your office, maybe at home, maybe alone in a room nobody cares about. And realized, why did I care so much? The victories that once thrilled you now feel meaningless. The people who once praised you now barely notice. The things you worked hardest for now weigh nothing. And you feel, nothing. Not sadness. Not anger. Not joy. Just the numb, brutal truth. It never mattered. Not really. Not to the world. Not even to yourself. And the anger comes. At life. At people. At yourself. At the illusions you believed. And the numbness follows. A quiet understanding that nothing will save you from the passage of time. Nothing will make your achievements last. Nothing will make people remember. This is the day most of us fear. But everyone meets. The day life whispers softly, cruelly. You are alone with the truth. And the truth is simple. Nothing stays important. 17. When nobody asks anymore. At first, it's subtle. A missed call. A forgotten birthday. A quiet room. You notice it? Maybe you don't. But slowly, day by day, the world stops asking about you. Your achievements. Forgotten. Your struggles. Ignored. Your presence. Overlooked. People move on. They always do. Not out of malice. Not intentionally. Life just continues. And the realization hits hard. All the effort, all the praise, all the chasing was temporary. You may have been the center of attention once. You may have been praised, admired, respected. And now, nobody asks. Nobody cares. Nobody remembers. It's a quiet cruelty. A slow, numbing erosion. The world doesn't owe you memory. It doesn't owe you respect. It doesn't owe you significance. And yet, for some reason, you expected it. You expected your existence to leave a mark. You expected your victories to echo. You expected people to remember. They don't. The brutal truth sinks in. People will forget you. Even those you thought would never leave your side. Even the moments you believed were eternal. And the only thing left is, you. Alone with the echo of silence. Learning the hardest lesson of all. Nothing stays important. 18. Comparing lives is pointless. You look around. See someone richer, stronger, smarter. Someone happier, healthier, luckier. And instantly, a tiny flame ignites inside. Why not me? Why am I here? Why do they have what I want? You start measuring. Calculating. Comparing. The grades, the money, the beauty, the health, the respect. You tally them in your mind. You convince yourself this determines worth. But here's the brutal truth. It doesn't. Every life is temporary. Every achievement is fleeting. Every victory fades. No one keeps score forever. No one remembers every win. No one cares as much as you think. Comparing is a trap. It steals moments. It steals joy. It steals sanity. You chase someone else's shadow, thinking it will bring importance. It never does. You realize slowly, painfully. The only life that matters is this one. The one you're living. Not theirs. Not anyone else's. And even this life? Even this one fades. Even this significance dies. So stop measuring. Stop comparing. The world doesn't care. And eventually, neither will you. Because the harsh, simple truth remains. Nothing stays important. 19. The lie of permanence. You believed it would last. Your achievements. Your happiness. Your health. Your wealth. You built your life around it. You measured every step. You protected it like armor. But here's the cruel truth. Nothing is permanent. The job you thought would define you forever? Gone. The praise you thought would echo endlessly? Fades. The relationships you trusted to last a lifetime? Break. The body you relied on? Weakens. You were lied to, not by anyone in particular, but by life itself. By your own belief in permanence. By the illusion that effort, talent, or luck could make anything eternal. We chase permanence. We cling to it. We fight to keep it. And every time it slips, the anger burns. The emptiness grows. The realization hits harder. Everything you cling to will betray you. And when that happens, the world is quiet. No one comes to console. No one validates your loss. No one says, it was temporary. Don't worry. Because life doesn't care. Nothing lasts. Nothing stays important. And that's the lesson most never truly accept. All of this everything we fight for, fear for, and hope for. is borrowed time. All of it is temporary. All of it will fade. 20. Watching meaning fade. You watch it happen. Slowly. Quietly. Without warning. The things that once mattered, don't. The victories that once thrilled, feel hollow. The applause that once fueled you, disappears. You notice it in small ways first. A friend stops asking about your work. A family member forgets your birthday. An achievement goes unmentioned. Then it grows. A creeping numbness. A quiet realization. Nothing you chased, nothing you built, nothing you treasured, is permanent. You watch meaning fade from everything you cared about. Your success, your status, your effort all reduced to memory. A memory that even you can barely summon. And anger comes. Bitter, sharp, unrelenting. You feel cheated. You feel robbed. You scream at the world. Why did I care so much? But life doesn't answer. It keeps moving. It doesn't pause. It doesn't validate. It doesn't care. And slowly, the anger turns numb. Because resistance is useless. Because clinging is pointless. Because the truth is clear. Everything fades. Everything dies. Everything loses meaning. And you sit there, quietly, painfully aware. Nothing stays important. 21. There is no lesson. You've been looking for one. A moral. A reason. A message. A meaning. But there isn't one. Life doesn't hand out lessons. It doesn't reward effort with understanding. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't pause to explain. All the success. All the failure. All the suffering. All the joy. It happens. Nothing more. You feel anger. You feel frustration. You want closure, answers, purpose. But there aren't any. The child praised for their grades. They grow up. The businessman who had everything? He dies quietly. The strong, healthy body? It fails. The applause? It fades. No moral. No promise. No reassurance. And that is the harshest truth of all. We live believing there will be a reason. We die realizing there was none. You rage. You cry. You sit numb. Because nothing you did. Nothing you achieved. Nothing you suffered through. Changes the fact that there is no lesson. And only then do you finally understand. Nothing stays important. 22. Enjoying without attaching. You sit down. You watch a sunset. You taste a sweet. You laugh at a small joke. It feels good. Warm. Real. Alive. And for a moment, you forget the world. Forget the chasing. Forget the failures. Forget that everything fades. But here's the catch. If you cling too tightly, attach too deeply, you suffer more. Because life will always take it back. The moment, the joy, the laughter. They are borrowed. Temporary. Fleeting. So you learn a cruel skill. Enjoy without holding. Feel without expecting. Live without attaching. The sunset will end. The sweet will be gone. The laughter will fade. And you? You remain. Quiet. Numb. Observing. There is peace in this truth. And anger too. You are alive. But nothing lasts. Everything you love will vanish. And still, you learn to sit with it. To sip the fleeting sweetness. And let it go when it's over. Because in the end, the only way to survive life's cruelty is to accept one thing. Nothing stays important. 23. Being human, temporarily. You feel pain, joy, anger, fear. All of it. You wake up, breathe, live. And for a while, you think it will last. You think you will last. You think your body, your mind, your importance, all of it is permanent. It isn't. We are temporary. Our thoughts, our feelings, our health, our memories. All borrowed time. You try to hold on to experiences. To people. To moments. But they slip away. Always. You rage at it. You cry at it. You sit numb, staring at a world that doesn't care. Being human is beautiful. But it's also a trap. A reminder of impermanence. A countdown. A fleeting awareness that everything you feel, everything you achieve, everything you love, will vanish. And in that brutal, numbing truth, you find a strange clarity. You are alive. Right now. Temporarily. And that is all that matters. All else is borrowed. Because life is not kind. Life is fleeting. And nothing stays important. 24. The quiet truth. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't scream. It doesn't break through your defenses. It waits. The quiet truth. Everything fades. All achievements. All relationships. All health, all beauty, all applause. You might fight it. You might ignore it. You might build walls, chase victories, hoard moments. It doesn't care. The quiet truth doesn't ask permission. It doesn't negotiate. It slowly creeps into your life. Like shadows stretching across a room you once thought bright. You realize, slowly, painfully, that no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you love, everything will eventually disappear. There is nothing you can hold forever. Nothing you can make permanent. And in that quiet, unyielding realization, you either break, or you sit still, numb, and watch the world move on. Because this is the hardest lesson of all. Nothing stays important. 25. The end of everything. It comes for everyone. Slowly, quietly. Or suddenly, without warning. The applause. The achievements. The wealth. The health. The beauty. The love. It all ends. You realize, finally, that life is not permanent. Everything you built, everything you chased, everything you treasured. It stays here, behind, forgotten. And you? You are just a witness. A traveler. A temporary presence. You rage. You cry. You laugh. You sit numb. You understand, nothing matters as much as you thought. Nothing is eternal. Nothing stays important. And then, you let it go. Not because you are wise. Not because you have found meaning. Not because life has mercy. You let it go because there is no other choice. The end is not dramatic. It is quiet. It is simple. It is inevitable. And in that silence, that emptiness, that final truth, you finally see clearly. All of it, the struggle, the pain, the joy, the pursuit, was temporary. We are temporary. And nothing stays important. 26. Nothing stays important. Life is fleeting, brutal, and indifferent. We spend it chasing achievements, recognition, wealth, beauty, health, and love, believing these things will give us permanence, meaning, or importance. We praise children for grades, adults for success, admire beauty, chase applause, and fight for respect, but all of it is temporary. The first victories feel eternal, the applause feels everlasting, and the attention feels like proof that we matter, until it fades. Wealth cannot fill the hollow chest, health cannot be guaranteed, beauty cannot stop time, and even the relationships we treasure eventually vanish. We hustle, we compete, we compare, we crave more, yet every step forward is borrowed importance. Every gain is fleeting. Every moment is temporary. Even the body betrays us, even love drifts away, even admiration disappears. We rage, we cry, we sit numb, and slowly we realize that life gives no lessons, no guarantees, no permanence. We are human only for a brief moment, witnessing time erase everything we thought mattered. The only way to survive is to embrace the impermanence, enjoy moments without attaching, feel joy without expectation, accept the fleeting nature of everything. Life is not fair, life is not kind, and life is not eternal. All achievements, all applause, all victories, all possessions, all beauty, all health, and all love eventually fade. This book is a raw, unflinching journey through the human experience, showing that nothing truly stays important, no matter how much we try, strive, or achieve. It is a mirror to reality, painful, numbing, sometimes angry, but brutally honest. In the end, the only constant is impermanence, and understanding it is the harshest and the only truth we will ever face.